Hello, my friend. Welcome to She Sells Radio. So I'm super excited today because this is the first of what I plan to be quite a few solo short form episodes. And part of what inspired this was, I don't know if you were with me about, oh gosh, a year-ish ago when I was doing my daily book series as a live stream every morning. And I must have been fueled by caffeine and mom energy. And I don't know what else because, Jack was just not even a year old yet. And we were hanging out on you and me and whoever else was joining for this book series. We were hanging out on social every morning at 8:30, doing these live streams, and they were fun and they were exciting. And the timing was a little tricky to keep showing up like that every day while also, growing my business and wanting to be more intentional about how I spend my time and just, I'm figuring out the whole schedule thing as a mom. So anyway, I put those to the side a while back, but I have missed, maybe I just like to talk a lot. That's probably what it is. But if you're here, hopefully you like to listen and hopefully it adds some value to your life because I've missed coming on and sharing like from the heart, and really just pouring into you with everything that I have and everything that I can to help you up level. As you know, if you've been in this community for a while, it's not just about your sales, although that's how I like to hook you in, is help you learn how to make more sales. But then I want to go deeper with you. I want to talk with you about how to up level your mindset, how to up level your financial vibration and frequency, how to become a more abundant person, how to, excel in all areas of your life, because I truly believe at this point in my life, success is happiness. So it's all about helping you become whatever that most successful version of you is. And I love that. And I've grown a lot as a person. And it's like, I was talking to someone about this yesterday. The older you get, the more you realize you don't know. So I know the next year version of me is going to be like, oh, she was so cute saying she knew so much. I'm not saying I know so much. I'm just saying I've grown a lot in the last year. So I will aim to bring you a deeper level of wisdom and a deeper level of understanding of just what I have been learning and some of the lessons I've been learning in life, all related to self-love, prosperity, abundance, of course, sales, right? Because we got to cover that here too. And we get to cover that here too. But my vision with the podcast now is to be able to, make it a little more accessible to be creating more frequent content for you, because I can record these whenever. But my goal and my vision is to have, if not daily, close to daily episodes for you. So I hope that's exciting. They will be shorter form. We're still going to have our flagship Tuesday longer episode, which will often be an interview. And I've had some phenomenal interviews come out lately. I've got some more amazing ones coming out soon. But this is going to be time with you and me. And we're going to be covering sales. We're going to be covering mindset. We're going to be covering wealth consciousness, prosperity. We're going to be covering femininity, feminine energy. We're going to be covering, quantum physics, spiritual laws. How do we use those to manifest and create the type of results that we want in business and in life? So it's all the stuff that I get excited about and I get juiced up about, and I hope it serves you. And so today with this first one, I want to talk about, how do you know what you're a match for? So kind of in the realm of, quantum physics and spiritual law, how do you know what you're a match for? And I have had so many beautiful examples in my own life recently, some that felt really good, some that felt really like crap, if I'm being honest, of, oh, at least this is the energy you're putting out and this is what you're a match for. Because one of the things that you will learn as you deepen into your study of, how energy works and, again, just spiritual law and quantum physics, it's like our outer world is always reflecting to us who we're being. And so at any given time, you can know who you're being by what are you seeing mirrored to you on the outside. And so I'm going to share a few stories, a few just hopefully quick examples, and then I'll talk about how can you know and how can you shift what you're showing up as a match for if it's not what you want. Okay. So There were two things. Well, let me give a little context of where I was energetically maybe a month ago, and then I'll share what showed up in my life as a result. And then I'll share some very cool shifts that happened when I used the tools I'm going to teach you um, to help me do that. So if I'm being super honest, about a month ago ish, I was in a bit of victim mindset. And I was in a bit of like fighting against some things that I didn't feel like were going well in my life. And I would, say my affirmations and focus on the vision board and blah, blah, blah. But if I'm being honest, what my brain kept thinking about all day and what I kept emotionalizing was that there were things that were going on that I felt like were unfair. And so I was in this state of frankly victimhood, which it's like, I preach against that, but it doesn't mean I don't get to learn it myself, right? At a deeper level. And so, where do I go with this? Okay. So in that time, and we have to remember with all of this, when you're looking at what you're a match for, the physical is always going to be the last step to manifest. So if you're looking to create a different type of reality for yourself, be that financial, be that with your career, be that in your relationships, you have to remember that there is time lag. So even up until last week, I get unexpected checks in the mail. Like I didn't used to be that person. Then I learned how this stuff worked. And then I started getting the unexpected checks in the mail. And I was like, oh, this is fun. I like this. Like I'm abundant. I'm always supported. Money comes in all sorts of channels. Well, I started getting unexpected bills in the mail, if I'm being honest. And it didn't feel good. And I was already in this state of like victimhood. And, then of course, these unexpected bills start coming in the mail. And it was like, wow, that feels even worse. But what I got to remind myself of, and it wasn't, I'm not going to lie and be like, I immediately was enlightened and knew that it was because I was being a match for victimhood. That's not it at all. I went into trigger, all of that. But I'd say it only took like a day-ish of, maybe not even a day. I don't know. I've learned how to like step away and work on getting back to my heart. But I've gotten some momentum going behind this energy and behind this vibration for a while. So, but I would say like within a day, I was able to really look at it and be like, oh, of course those unexpected bills came because I was putting out the energy of poor me, blah, blah, blah. People take advantage of me, blah, 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 blah. Right. And so it was this reminder of the laws work perfectly every time. And it doesn't matter if you know them. It doesn't matter. I mean, it doesn't matter if you know them or you don't know them. It doesn't matter if you teach prosperity and abundance. It doesn't matter if you live in that realm and energy of your life most of the time. If you fall into a victim mindset, you're going to have things start showing up around you that reinforce that victim mindset. So that's exactly what had happened to me. And then I'm going to share, there were two other things that happened really recently where it was like, I don't think these were tied necessarily to the victim mindset. They happened around the same time, but they were more interesting. They weren't bad things per se, but it was just like, it was a variation of what I wanted, but it wasn't exactly what I wanted. So there were two things. And I don't think I'm going to go into a ton of detail because I just don't want to give away too many details on it. But basically, there were two things that I recently set my intentions on that I made a decision of like, yes, this is what I want. Like, I'm claiming this for myself. This is happening. And they both, one of them showed up within a few days, and the other one showed up within 90 minutes of me saying that. And when they showed up, they were kind of what I wanted. Like in many ways, they were what I wanted, but they weren't as grandiose as I wanted. They weren't like the full-fledged, like, oh my gosh, like this is living my next level dream life type of thing. It was like, they were kind of like watered down versions of what I had wanted. And it was so interesting. Neither of them felt bad. They both kind of felt exciting. But as I leaned into them more and thought about them more, it was like, oh, this is so interesting that these would show up. And wow, thank you for the reinforcement that I'm a powerful creator, as are you, because I didn't have much resistance around either of them. So they both came in really fast. But what I noticed was that what I really wanted, which would have required far more money in one case, and yeah, it was both around more money. I apparently had more resistance around, because that's not what came in. The kind of like I said, like watered down, I don't know, C-class manifestations came in, if that makes sense. So it was a reminder of, wow, like what you want can come to you really quickly when you don't have resistance to it. But also, to me, that was a great mirror back of, okay, you're kind of a match for these things that you want, but you're not a match for like the really epic version that you're saying you want yet. So I said no to both of the things that came in. And I was in gratitude, but it was also a beautiful reminder of, okay, like, wow, look at how quickly you can create. And I love how Abraham Hicks says it's as easy to create a castle as it is to create a button. I love that. And so I reminded myself of that, of like the full-fledged, like beautiful, like, oh my gosh, jaw-dropping manifestation that could be as easy as creating these watered down versions if I didn't have resistance around it, if I didn't think it needed to take a long time, or that I wasn't quite there yet. So I decided to, and this is what I'm actively doing right now, is doubling down on my mindset and looking at it as really just an invitation to level up, and an invitation to say like, okay, what would it look like to be a match for this thing that may feel bigger than me right now? But that's okay. Like, I'm not making myself wrong for it. I'm good with being here for the journey. But like, gosh, what would it look like for that to happen now? Right. And what would it look like for that to, like, who's the person who receives that right now? And so it was just a fun reminder. And so for you, how do you know what you're a match for? Well, it's really, really simple. Look around you. Look around you. How much money are you making? How are clients treating you? What are you receiving from people? What sort of lifestyle do you have? That's how you know what you're a match for. And this is part of why in the She Sells curriculum and in the work that I do, and we're rolling out this new, like, incredibly up-leveled curriculum in the 10K Club this month, which I'm so beyond excited for, because it's honing really deep on the 3 missing links that catapult women's sales and income. And it's all based upon, it's not about what you're doing, it's about who you're being. It's 95% who you're being versus what you're doing. And so we want to look inside first if the results that we're receiving aren't a match for what we want, because at some level you're a match for those results. So we got to shift how you're being and how you identify yourself, and what you what you expect in your life. And so to shift it, and I'm not saying it's an overnight thing necessarily, but I will share how quickly this shifted in my life recently. So, like I said, I had been in kind of this like victim-y vibration and energy for, yeah, I mean, if I'm being honest, it was probably about a month, because there was just some stuff going on that like didn't feel good, and I let it go. I no doubt I perpetuated it longer, far longer than it needed to be, because I forgot this. So hopefully me sharing this helps you remember this, so that you don't perpetuate a longer cycle of anything not feeling good than needs to. But I kind of just reached this point where I was like, I'm not available for this to keep happening. Like, I'm done. My life is, I'm worth too much. My life is worth too much to keep perpetuating this cycle of things that just don't feel good. And so I find it often reaches this point where it's like, you have to just be done. You have to just be fed up. And sometimes you've got to sit in the suck for a while before you get fed up. So you follow you do your process, but it will shift when you're no longer available for it to be the way it has been. And when I made that decision, I was like, okay, let me double back down on what I know works. And so for me, one of my go-tos, I am diehard Bob Proctor. Love that man. God love him. And so I like 24/7. Bob Proctor's on the TV. He's got this great live stream on YouTube, right? So I put his stuff on. I deepen back into wealth consciousness. I get my family, we're all reading a chapter by all. It's Jason and me, and Jack sits there and listens. But hey, we are indoctrinating him early. I have zero shame saying that. But we're reading a chapter of The Science of Getting Rich together every morning as a family, and we're studying it. We're talking about it. And I was like, this is such a good opportunity to double down on my wealth consciousness. And then I also realized that I think part of what prompted this was like, I had set a new vision for myself towards the beginning of the year and even again in the spring. And like, it happened so quickly that I didn't stop to pause and look at what's the next vision, what's the next level of the vision. So I was still like listening to my affirmations and listening to my life script and kind of visualizing this future, but so much of it had already happened that I was kind of I don't think I was really pumping a lot of energy into it. So I had almost lost sight of the vision. And so I sat down this weekend and I rewrote my vision, and I got it dialed in and crystal clear and exciting and compelling. And there were parts of the vision that I had set earlier this year where the victim mindset version of me was like, oh, that's too big. Why would you think that's still possible? And I was like, you know what? Like, nothing is impossible when we work with spiritual law. And it's not even like, at this point, do I care about the physical manifestations? Yeah, they're a lot of fun, but it's more about how I feel. And I know that when I'm seeing myself as that next level person who has a mega successful company, like even far more successful than we are right now, who is serving women around the world in such a powerful way. And by the way, men, because I know we got some men who listen to this, we're rolling out something for everyone later this year, which I'm so excited about. Brand new brand. So stay tuned on that. But it's like, I want to serve people around the world in bigger ways than I am right now, and impact lives in a bigger way, and be in community with people in a bigger way, and be connecting with people in a bigger way, and be in the room with people in a bigger way. And I allowed myself to like really go there and really feel it, and not put limits or caps on what the original goal had been for this year, just because I had kind of fallen into a slump. So I got excited about the vision again. I detailed it out. I wrote a new, life vision, life script that's probably 30 minutes long, but I'm listening to it every day. And I kid you not, my friend, within a day, it was a day of writing that, things started to shift. I felt my energy shift and things started to shift around me. Yesterday, I'm not going to go into detail on any of these yet because they need a little more time to cure. But I feel like I'm going to cry as I'm about to talk about them because they're so beautiful. Yesterday, two things happened that I could not have imagined could have happened in this time frame. And I will share more about them as I am ready to, but they're beautiful and they're incredible. And I'm so grateful. And so it doesn't have to take long, is the point of that. It does not have to take long to shift it. If you're currently a match for stuff you don't want, beautiful. Use it as feedback. The biggest thing too is not beating yourself up in that moment. But saying, you know what, everyone slips, everyone falls, everyone gets more focused on outer circumstances and on who they're being sometimes. And we all forget, right? It's just, how long are you going to forget for? And how long are you going to then beat yourself up because you did? Because I definitely got in that cycle. And it's all up to you as to how quickly you want to shift it. But when you make that decision to shift it, and you make that decision that you're ready to see how good life can get, and you're ready to, it's like you're ready to really experience life at a next level of worthiness. It's incredible what will happen for you. And it doesn't have to take long. So that is it, my friend. That is how to know what you're a match for. I hope that this spoke to you. I'd love to hear your thoughts. On social, send me a DM. I'm at Elise Archer everywhere. I'm also just always super honored when you share these episodes on your social or with a friend who is also going for big up levels in their life as well. So I usually say I'll see you next week on the next episode of She Sells Radio. I'll probably see you tomorrow or really soon. on the next day of She Sells Radio. So I hope you enjoyed this. Lots of love. Thank you for listening. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.